Hello guys! A couple of days ago, Putin decided he wants to play the Russian roulette and targeted Ukraine with the very experimental long-range missile with the weirdest name Oreshnik. The plan was to frighten not just Ukrainian people, but people around the world. When in reality it turned out to be just the contrary. The Oreshnik effect led to the dramatic collapse of the Russian ruble. And right now you need to spend 106 rubles for just $1 or 110 rubles for just €1. And they say Russia is strong, definitely, especially if you look at their economy. Even Ukrainian hryvnia, a currency of the country that is under constant attacks, that is severely destroyed by Russian shelling and bombing, with millions of people fleeing the war zone, even Ukrainian hryvnia feels much better and stronger than Russian ruble. And honestly, I believe that before making any appeasement decisions or pushing Ukraine to negotiate with the Kremlin gobbling, you should look at the exchange rates of ruble and decide whether you really think Russia is strong. So I think we can actually speak about this Cold War tactics that Putin keeps using and the warfare of the 21st century, which is totally different with drones, robots, and even artificial intelligence. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the collapse of the Kremlin, the demilitarization of Russia, and also protect yourself against evil, toxic narratives that Kremlin spreads around the world, subscribe. We will discuss all of that on the channel. Honestly, I think I should start recording or actually adding information about the exchange rates for the Russian ruble in my daily videos, because this will demonstrate the quick collapse both of the Russian economy and of the Russian Federation. Actually, these times remind me the period before the collapse of the USSR. It was also marked by huge inflation, serious troubles with the currency, and people were literally trying to exchange money to put them into something, but that was impossible. And that is actually why, with my post-Soviet experience, I believe many Russians at this time are looking for a way to exchange rubles while they are still money, still considered money, into euros or dollars or yuans. And this always creates panic. And in Russia, state controls everything. So it may be very likely that already or in a couple of days, they will actually limit the amount of dollars or euros that you can buy. And this means that millions of Russians will go to the black, gray market to look for an opportunity to buy the dollar twice the price. This is insane, but this is Russia. And all because Putin wanted to show off with what seems to be not a new missile, but an upgraded version of RUBLE, simply named in a very weird name, like way, Oreshnik, a hazelnut bush. No matter how hard I try to find any logics behind that, I cannot. Maybe you can give me your ideas in the comments below. And recently I have seen a video about the US missile that is definitely much stronger if needed. And it has a very beautiful name, Trident. Actually, it's so connected with Ukraine and our national symbols that I was pretty surprised with that. Subscribe to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine and all freedom-loving people, and remember to share these videos on your social media platforms. This helps fight against fake Russian stories and their lies, which are unfortunately all over the world on the headlines, in the media, and this leads to chaos and troubles around the world. But Putin still lives in the past. What is worse, millions of his countrymen live in the past. And they still believe that bullying, that blackmail work as they did in times of the Cold War. But let's be honest. In times of the Cold War, the state of the Russian economy or even ideology was much better than it is in the Putin's times. And also he resembles me a classical bully, the one that you remember after you grow up, develop your career, I don't know, get married, and then you look back in that period and you don't feel fear. What you feel to that person is pity. And I'm actually happy that it seems like more and more people in Europe, in North America, in Australia, in every corner of the world feel the same about Putin and his tactics. And that he does not frighten us anymore. And all we see is a person... You to be sensitive to dehumanizing names, so I cannot, but you can get versions that I have in my head. So anyway, all of his new tactics that he uses to blackmail the world actually ricochet on his economy. And economy is vital for the survival of such a big territory that is united literally with nothing but special services, centralization, and loan Russification processes. And in contrast, Ukrainian army that uses lots of inexpensive and at the same time very dynamic, very innovative drones reach deep inside Russia. Now that fear disappears, we are allowed to use ATACMS, Storm Shadows, maybe Taurus one beautiful day, but drones have been a game changer. And soon I will introduce you to our beautiful new NAFO campaign, but you can already see some information about it on X, Threads, Discord, and Blue Sky. All the links in the description of this video, and I will leave a link to our new force campaign, NAFO campaign, below this video. But most importantly, we know how to stand against the evil. We know how to stand against the bully. That's why simply trust Ukrainians and do share this new Oreshnik effect term among the people interested in politics, in economy, which actually describes that insane, violent, unpredictable behavior leads to the collapse not of the countries against which it was targeted, but to the author of the tactics itself. And what we observe now is a very fast and a very dynamic collapse of first Russian economy and then the Russian Federation in its modern state. And don't be afraid of that. Actually, we have a beautiful video that explains why the dissolution of the Russian Federation is not that dangerous or bad. So remember to join me on social media, the links to which you will find in the description. Check our merch shop for lots of good items that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel, but most importantly, thank you for standing with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!